Yo, what is going on, everyone? Guiding Light here, back with another video, and in this one, we're going to be taking a in-depth look at a new game called xdefiant. Now, you guys may or may not have heard this. There's a lot of people making content about it right now, and I just recently got into the closed beta. Now, as of right now, beta will be closing up around April 23rd, and I do not have any word on exactly when the open beta will begin or when you guys will be able to get your hands on this. But as of right now, guys, these are the game modes we have. We got Escort, where we are going to basically escort a payload, Zone Control, a game mode called Domination, which you guys are probably familiar with from a lot of other FPS shooters, and then a final game mode called Occupy, which is sort of like a headquarters game mode or like a hard point where the objective will move around throughout the game. Now, you will have a battle pass actually once this goes live. There's actually one even here in the closed beta right now that is free. This game is set to be free to play in the future. As of right now, it runs at 60 FPS on console. You can get it up to like 80 or 90 FPS if you have like a 1440p monitor. And I heard once the game's supposed to be like in release or at least in like the beta stage, there is supposed to be an update to get it up to 120 FPS on console. But as of right now, like I said, guys, we're locked in at about 60 for this video. But here's a quick look at everything in the Battle Pass. I'm not sure if you'll be able to unlock that ever again, but as of right now, that is what's in the past. Now, the cool thing about this game is that it is made by Ubisoft, and so you have some of these similar characters or divisions that you may be familiar with from other games. We've got like the Ghost Recon, Splinter Cell, and so you're going to be able to use these characters in this game, and they're all going to have their own special abilities based on their factions or like their design roles. So as you can see here, here's what you will get in the Far Cry section. You're going to get these abilities here that are listed at the bottom. Now, at first, I was a little bit afraid of these abilities. I thought it would make it less of a shooter and more of like an ability spamming game. But to be honest, the abilities that I've seen so far after playing the game, so I do really enjoy the abilities so far because at certain times, obviously, it will give you an advantage over your opponent, but at other times, the opponent will have the advantage on you for having their abilities, and it all seems pretty balanced as of right now. So I was actually pretty surprised with the abilities because I thought it would take away from the shooting element, but it really doesn't. And so right now I've been enjoying the abilities. So let's take a quick look at some of the other classes that you can play as, like the Ghost Recon Phantoms. This is my favorite so far. And then after I show you guys a little bit more of a breakdown of what this game is about, we will jump into some gameplay. But if we just jump straight into the gameplay, you may be a little confused as to what's going on. So I did want to show you guys all these different characters and exactly how it works before jumping straight in. Now, the craziest thing about this is that you also do get a creator class. So let's very quickly go into some of the guns and attachments and things because I want to show you guys exactly how you'll be able to create a class. Now, these classes can be used on any faction once they're made. But as you guys can see, we already have 10 creator class slots, which is quite a bit. And I'll show you guys a few of the guns that are in the game. So you may have some guns that you may recognize in here like M16, M4, AK, ACR, P90, MP7, just so many great guns that you probably have used in other games in the past. So already, if you've played some of the other Call of Duties, you could probably jump into this and be pretty familiar with a lot of the stuff that's going on, just due to the fact that it does have a lot of the same guns and create a class system is pretty similar. So pretty hyped for the sniping. I did have a chance to get my hands on the sniper a little bit, but I've been working more with these assault rifles, trying to learn the maps and how the spawns work, things like that. So very quickly, let's get into the create a class. Really nice so far how it works and all the different attachments. This is where things get a little different because you'll see attachments and sort of things that you've never seen before. And just the way that the created class works is pretty nice. It actually gives you a really solid breakdown about what each and every one of your perks and abilities that you're putting on the gun will do for you down at the bottom corner. And you do notice a major effect when you put these attachments on. So you can really create a class and a weapon to your playstyle because of all these different attachments that you can put on and the fact that they actually do make a pretty big difference in the gun itself. So working with the create a class system in this game so far has been pretty fun, trying to find all the different combinations that work for me and how I play the game to actually make it a little bit easier to win some gunfights. So really liking the create a class system so far. I'll take you guys through a little bit further of a breakdown because they just recently unlocked all the attachments for everybody. Previously, you actually didn't have any attachments. Now, the craziest thing is that the M4 and some of the other assault rifles, you can actually completely remove the stock from. So this is not something I've seen in other games before. I'm sure it might be in some, but I've just never seen it. And you can actually remove the stock and create even more mobility for your gun and on your character. So this has been pretty sick so far working with the creator class. Let's jump into some gameplay so you can see exactly what this game is like, what the time to kill is, things like that. Now, one thing I can say about the multiplayer experience so far is that I've really been liking the multiplayer maps themselves. Now, a lot of games will have the abilities down and stuff, but won't necessarily have good maps. But I've really been liking the way these maps are set up. They're kind of set up more so like OG Call of Duty maps. Instead of just being some tall like three lane maps, they're actually really nice and have lots of different angles. They're not just those typical 3 lane maps we've been so used to. So I've really been liking the maps. Now the spawns, so right now probably could use a little bit of tweaking. Keep in mind though, this game isn't like a closed beta. It's almost feels like it's in an alpha stage right now, to be honest. Now the fact that it's in beta and that it feels like a beta to me is almost a benefit because I've been enjoying the game so much and they have so many of the fundamentals down so well that if it's only going to be improved from here, then I can only imagine how good this game could be within 6 months to a year. Now a lot of people are calling this sort of like a Call of Duty killer for some reason, but in my opinion, it's kind of a lot more than that. Although it does have similar elements to Call of Duty, if I was somebody that like one of the developers of even like Overwatch or even Apex Legends, I would honestly be a little afraid too, because this game kind of is like all three of those games in one. It has some Overwatch elements in the way that the maps are designed and the way the spawns and certain abilities work. It has the shooting and mobility and sliding sort of like a Apex Legends. And then also, it will take away from Call of Duty as well, just due to the fact of the 6v6 respawning and the FPS and the way that the whole game works. On top of that, we have all the familiar Ubisoft characters, so anyone that played Siege or Ghost Recon in the past will automatically be able to jump into this game and have a pretty good time. Now, this is a look at one of these super abilities. This is actually my favorite part of the game right now. It actually lets you pop sort of like a portable bubble. But the thing is when you're in that super as a counter, you can only use a shotgun and you can only shoot people that are like in your perimeter of the bubble. So I actually had a lot of fun with that class so far, and there's a lot of other super abilities that I haven't even had the chance to use yet. Now, overall, I'm actually extremely excited to see where this game goes in the future. At first, I thought it may have been a little overhyped, but after getting my hands on the beta and playing a little bit, I do think this game will be pretty successful. Now, it's definitely going to be up to the developers because if they add some weird stuff in the game or don't listen to the community, I do think this game could die really fast. However, if they can manage to get things right, have a good ranked play system once that drops, and create a nice environment for players, it's like not as toxic or where things don't get overpowered or really bad. I honestly think this game could be successful and could remain successful for a pretty long time. So obviously the game's not out yet, and we haven't really had much of a word as to when the full game or the next beta session will begin. So it's not something that I would drop everything and immediately go play right now. But this is definitely a game you guys want to keep your eye on because it does look like it's going to be a pretty fierce competitor in the FPS space. If they can get things right over the next few months with the way the game launches, making sure there's not really any server issues or issues where people can't log in, and then make sure that the ranked play system is actually nice and rewarding along the way. I really think this game will succeed without much effort because just due to the fact that the FPS space right now is kind of dying. A lot of games are getting dried up. There's lots of people that are not really playing Call of Duty right now. And obviously, Apex and other games are slowly starting to lose their populations as well, just due to the fact that it's getting stale for a lot of people. So this is really refreshing to see this game come out right around this time. And as like more information comes out about the game, I definitely will let you guys know when the next beta session is, how you can get into the beta and things like that. I just got kind of lucky and registered for this beta and ended up getting sent a code. So it wasn't like a promotion or anything like that. I just simply registered on the website and they sent me a code. Now, like I said, the beta will end on the 24th, which is like 4 or 5 days from now. So if you guys don't get into the beta by then, I would just simply wait until the next beta session where I would imagine they're going to let much more players in, but they just don't want to overload the servers right now. So as for right now, guys, if the beta ends up opening up for all players, like maybe before it closes or something like that, I will let you guys know. Obviously, this game is available on console, but it's also available on PC as well, and you can cross-play with friends right off the bat. So it's pretty nice to see that. Now, hopefully you guys did enjoy this quick summary of what to expect with xDefiant, whether or not I think it's good or not. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to drop a like down below and consider subscribing for the future xDefiant content, which will be coming very soon. Now, if there's anything else you guys want me to cover on this game, any questions or anything that you want to see like in the game itself, let me know down in the comments and I'll be able to make a video for you guys before the beta closes up. So that's pretty much it for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.